the tangible consequence of making prepayments to questionable companies? We heard from the Northwest Health Department that the suspended HOD that's been placed on leave now, that there was a 30 million rand prepayment to Mediosa, and it's these sort of prepayments that then hinder the department's ability to be able to pay for other projects, to be able to pay service providers, and we know that that department says it's only going to be able to pay service providers in the new financial year, so that will be from next month onwards. Joining me now to speak about a project at the Excelsius Nursing College is Hospersa's Provincial Treasurer, Mantu Mbotshane. Thank you so much for joining us this morning, speaking in your capacity as a Hospersa office holder. What are we looking at here, ma'am? And it looks like a construction site. What's the problem with what we're seeing here?
It is a construction site, and the whole area was declared unsafe. In fact, it's a condemned building that we've been subjected to work in for the past 15 months, from January to date. So this is it. This is what is happening. And as lecturers, we are supposed to produce nurses, we are supposed to do everything for the Department of Health, but this is how they want us to work under such conditions. So we are saying as workers of this college that enough is enough. We refuse to be subjected to these conditions for any much longer.
Mr. Mbotshane, let's speak about those conditions. A simple thing as a toilet or a bathroom, sanitation facilities. What's the condition like in there?
We don't have those. We are 80 plus workers here. We are expected to use 2 toilets for males and females. And most of the time there's no water, so you cannot flush the toilets. So at some stage we reported this to the management, and they told us that we can use the hospital, we can use any other place, because as health workers we know that we cannot be using toilets that are not flushing and stuff.
But the reality is, and correct me if I'm wrong, you have the bucket system in use here.
So some people have resorted to using that, because I mean, if nature calls, how long would it take you then to run across to the hospital? So we're using those. And so, even the principal, multi-campus head, is aware that we are using buckets.
That is absolutely shocking. Let's speak about the capacity here. It's supposed to be able to handle about 850 nursing students. Is that correct? What's the situation? Where are those students now?
They are housed all over Klerksdorp, wherever little corner that we could get. We have requested places for classrooms, but because the ones that were staying in this nurses' home have also been relocated to some flats in the town.
We speak about what that is. Obviously, the transport is outsourced, their accommodation is outsourced.
Everything is outsourced. The transport, accommodation, security services, the kitchen, everything is outsourced.
So for a department that's struggling to find a budget, it certainly seems to have money for outsourcing.
It does, because there's always a middleman that is being paid. There's always, because I mean, if they could afford to pay millions for transport, I think they can be able to buy a few kumbis and few cars for the lecturers to use for accompaniment and stuff. Even those cars that we are using for accompaniment, they are like 300 kilometers plus. They are unsafe. Hey, they are unsafe. The wheels go out, it jumps in the traffic and stuff, but we have been willing to continue. But then we are saying, if people have money to blow like that, then they have money to see to that we have tools of trade, we have accommodation that is safe, it meets OHS standards, and the cars that we're using for accommodation and for the students, they should be able to afford that. That's what we are saying.
Mantu Mbotshane, thank you very much. We're going to be outside this nursing college for the rest of the day, just monitoring the conditions that the nursing staff here and the lecturers are forced and subjected to, and as you heard there, a confirmation that shockingly the bucket system is used here, Michelle, because there's just simply not enough toilets, and when the toilets are used, the contractors that are here on site say that the sewage actually flows down into the foundations where they are said to be building. And I got a confirmation from the Northwest Health Department that this project had a 440 million rand budget from the National Department. It then was given to the Development Bank of South Africa, who then promptly stopped payment in April last year. So for at least the last year, there hasn't been a cent spent here, but the department saying to me, the provincial department, that they're going to be picking up the payments as of the new financial year in April. Michelle.
All right, well, you'll keep us up to date as we continue our focus on healthcare around the country, but that is our reporter Michael Appel, live to us there from Klerksdorp in the Northwest Province.